Well, in financial literacy, going through the CEE and economic councils, they've built stats that say 44% of the states in the US receive a failing grade in financial literacy, right? Kids don't know how to save. They don't know what interest is. And one of my favorite stats that I use all the time is that 69% of parents rather talk to their kids about sex and drugs than financial education, right? Because they don't know themselves. So we push this through and we work with them every day to get a better understanding of how do they bring this to light? What can we do to really try to help them? And we're here to help. And our CEO, Tom Davidson, says all the time, if it's a college campus and we save one woman from being sexually assaulted, we've done our job. If one person doesn't binge drink and an unfortunate circumstance happens, the person passes away, we've done our job. We're trying to affect one person at a time. If we can do it in scale and affect hundreds and thousands and millions, then all the more better, right? But how can we affect one person at a time? So 68% of people that really work in financial education felt that their planning materials were dull and boring. When's the last time you got something really cool and interactive and fun from a bank? Right? Never. We go in there and they have pamphlets, you get lots of direct mail, and there's signage up everywhere, right? So, and take this and put your company in this position too. It's not just financial. Think about what you do overall. And using financial literacy and financial services as an example here, how are you representing your brand? And when we travel across the country and we see small community and regional banks that are really trying to make an impression, they make an impression by sponsoring their high school football stadium sign, or working with the local baseball team, or sponsoring a kid's youth baseball team on the field. But they're not working with students in an education facet, trying to make an impact in the classroom. And we feel we have the tools and vehicles to be able to do that. And recently, this just came out, that how do your brands and fair reputation fare against other industries? And banks rank 13th. And look at all the ones above it. I mean, from automotive to computer to manufacturing to industrial to consumer products to services. And hopefully I'm not offending anyone here, but we've all tried to call a cable company, right? And we can spend hours on the phone trying to get in touch with somebody. And they're ranked higher than banks are. So there's a problem with brand reputation across the board, and this is from American Banker. And Fast Company recently, and Benny was just about to talk about this, with millennials, but millennials hate banks. Right? Who in here does their banking online? Right? Has anyone started doing your mobile deposits online through photo chat? Yeah, more than half the room. I do too. How often do you go to a bank branch? Maybe almost a few people, but most people, I would say, raise your hand if you haven't gone to a bank branch in the last 2 months. Yeah, about half the room. So this is what happened. Bank branches starting to move away. The younger people moving in don't want this service. So how can any brand, any company interact with millennials? How do you get through to them? And we feel one of our products can help do that. So true or false, an informed customer is your best customer? True. True, right? And it's true, and we have data to support it. So customers are 29 times more likely to buy your product through an online educational experience. You take them through the realm of what you do and put them in a fun and interactive environment, and they will come back. It goes back to the data and gated and ungated versus on the content side too, right? We talk all the time that the best practice way of producing content on your website is to leave it ungated, right? Because if you leave it ungated, the thought is eventually, if you're thought-provoking enough, like an ESPN and a CNN.com, you keep coming back to that same source because that becomes your favorite. And they're reliable, trustworthy, and they provide that education to you. But a lot of us are not in that boat. We must gate our content. I want to know who's coming to my site so that I can go back and market them, right? But that's not the end goal. The end goal is to ungate everything. So if you ungate it and let people kind of go through, they're more likely to come back to you in the long run.